My name is Dev Randhawa. I'm Chairman and CEO of Fission 3.0. We are a uranium exploration company in Canada, and recently we've hit a very fascinating and important discovery hole on our property, PLN.
Dev, good to see you. Saw you in London a few months ago now. A few weeks, yes. It's like a few months. Look, I want to talk to you about this Fission 3.0. I want to talk to you about this discovery you've made. I mean, the phrase in the headline, which I don't usually like sort of seeing these things, is off the scale. But I think in your case, it probably aptly describes it.
Well, yeah, that's what they use when they get over like 10,000 bips, counts per second. Uranium is very unique. When you, in Athabasca, when you can actually test it with scintillometers, whereas you're certainly, looking for gold, you can't there's no instrument out there to run over gold core or copper or anything. Go, okay, what do we got? We can do that in uranium because they're radioactive. So you got a clue that it's good. So in our case, yeah, we hit over 65,000 counts per second over a couple of meters. Our second hole was 2.5 meters of it. You don't know what you really have until you do the assays, but you get an indication. All these machines collaborate differently. The calibration can vary from machine, but ours, we know we used it before. When we hit those numbers, it was 50% uranium. ISO ranged from 20 to 70% uranium. That's massively, when you looked at the core, it was heavy pitch blend. So the look and the scintillometers matched. So we know we got something. We don't know what. And we hope before Christmas to have the assays out on our discovery hole.
Right. Okay. But here's the thing. This is I'm trying to help people who perhaps haven't looked at uranium, maybe more used to gold, precious metals, base metals, etc. This is the equivalent to high grade narrow veins. So what's the job that you're going to set the team now? Because you've got to find a lot of this stuff. So what's next?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, once you have a discovery hole, and uranium is very different. It's blobs. It can move around. And these conductors that bring it up, you don't know where they're going. You got a system. Now you got to find it. We say follow the geology. Thankfully, Ray and the team, when Ross and our board, they have done this twice before. You remember, we've talked before, very few people can find one discovery and deposit, turn a discovery into deposit. We've made 2 discoveries before and turned them into deposits. The J Zone and R under Fission Energy and Fission Uranium. Now it's Fission 3.0, and we're proudly to say we've got our 3rd discovery. I have tremendous faith in our team to chase these blobs of uranium around. Where to drill. We're going to miss some. People got to be patient because you're trying to figure out where it's going. So I'm very excited. Our approach is to have 15-meter step outs, different directions. Once we understand that, then you can do 20, 30, 50 step outs. But you got to be very careful with uranium. You can miss it by 5 meters. But our team has done it twice. Made a discovery, turned a deposit.
Okay, so it's about the people. I get it, and not too many companies out there have got people who've done it before. But let's be clear about some of the terminology. I want people to be able to distinguish between what good looks like and what just talking about it looks like. So when you say discovery, what do you mean by that? How do you qualify that?
Well, that's a great thing. It's funny. Dave Talbot, I think the best uranium analyst on earth, said that normally he waits for assays, right, to say, okay, the X percentage, blah, blah, blah. So you got to be a discovery in the basin, you got at least, I think base load's 0.9 or 1% uranium. They consider that a discovery. I think, we're looking for 20%. So there are different varies. And what's a soccer player? Senegal's good. England's better. Yes, I was cheering. There's just different degrees. Brazil's a little bit better, especially than Korea. So they're all soccer players. These are all discoveries, but there's magnitudes, right? Aero, ISO, R. They're here. The rest are here. 1% uranium is not that high in the basin, unless it's on surface or something. But so this is not a discovery. There's a chart out there someone made for me, talking about all the discovery holes, the widths, and the counts per second. And you'll see they're here, we're here. As I say we're starting at midfield. Now, whether we get to the goal or not is another issue. But the ball for us is starting at midfield. Previous situations, we're starting at our goal line. Now we work towards. So we've got a big jump start. We've got width. We've got great. We'll find out how much. And we've got to turn it into a deposit. That's the next step. But you need money. And yesterday we were lucky to raise another $8 million at 45% premium to the market with no warrant. And I've been fighting with the bankers and everybody not to give them a warrant. We succeeded. They finally caved in, and we pulled the plug on our financing.
Well, look, I saw, look. Okay, I'll maybe come back to the asset in a bit, but okay, let's go to money because you've gone there. No warrant attached to this, which is good, it's exceptional in this market. I mean, obviously, the dealers got warrants, but in terms of raising the capital, you've raised a lot of money so far for this company, and you've taken it. Well, I think you took some at the end of last year. Perhaps I think you got a bit of stick for that. How much money have you actually raised in total for Fission 3.0?
Oh, it's got to close to 100 million. I mean,
Right.
because remember, every time, what we were always able to do, the strategy is keep your properties in bear markets. In fact, pick some up. Okay, get your overhead down. You got to keep it low. You don't know when the market turns, but when it does, bang, you got to go. So last year, we raised money at 10 and a half, 11, 12 cents with Red Cloud. Stock ran up, came back down to 21, 22. We raised another chunk of dough. And there's an old saying, you raise money when you can, not when you have to. There were times a couple of years ago I was putting 100 grand in just to keep the doors open. So to me, you always, but also there's money and dumb money and smart money. The nice thing about doing business with guys like Red Cloud, Dave Talbot writes about you. He's a third party, legitimate guy who'll say this is okay, this is not. So it's not just money. It's who you get your money from and what value do they bring to the table. And I always felt bringing David Talbot, Bruce Tatters and crowd, you're bringing smart money.
Well, yeah, okay. You make some great points, right? Which I think were the ticket. You've raised circa near some. You said $100 million during the life of. I mean, that's the nature of junior miners. Raise money, drill, raise money, drill. Okay, we understand that, and that's why it's if you get it right, hopefully you backfill that valuation and you get a return on your capital invested, etc. If you don't, it's gone down the drain. But the difference is the smart money. I'm not sure. Well, help me understand what the brokers bring because they're picking up fees. They want to raise money for everyone and anyone. But what else do they do for you apart from writing a report from an independent?
Without how can you? We're a cash. We lose money every month. So if you don't have people supporting you, how can you find something without money? I don't have an extra 100 million in my pocket. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. If I had 100 million, I wouldn't be doing this. So where do I find money? And over time, the guy I've been doing this since 1996. I've learned there are good people that will stand behind you. The Rick Rules, the Peter Groskovs, Eric Sprotts, the Haywoods, Dave Elliott's. There are good people out there. Not everybody's an a-hole or whatever. A wanker, or whatever the Brits say. There are good people out there who have ethics, and Dave Talbot I put up there. Rob Chang was like, they're good people, right? And so you need money, and you need somebody out there and I believe Red Cloud's doing a super job. In this round, we've got Red Cloud, got Sprott, run by Superman, I call Peter Groskov. I mean, the guy raised $3 billion almost. I mean, there is no uranium market last year if it wasn't for Peter Groskov. So we've got a great team. Haywood guys, Kevin Campbell. I like these guys. They got super smart people. They opened the door to 20 investors last week, just one firm. I have to get my story out. If they like it and they like uranium, they want exploration, we get money. You always need money in the exploration business because that's the nature of it. So you've got to keep those doors open, and you do need third-party valuation. Ever since BRIEX, firms are no longer allowed to say, oh, we've got XYZ, no, that bullshit stopped. Now you need independent people to tell what you've got. And that's why you've got to have that. And it's always about educating people.
Right. But tell me this, Deb, because again, this is really, really important, okay? Is you love them because they're raising you money, but they must like you because they've allowed you to take, ask for a 45% premium with no warrant. So what precisely are they backing other than you've kind of got a long history with them on various companies?
In this situation, they're backing that drill hole and Ray. You
Okay.
know, team. I've done it twice before. Now it's their third. You know, some investment banker I just spoke this morning goes, "You must have been obviously a better saint in the past life because there's no way someone gets three discoveries." Don't worry. I take the problem with having good friends in the industry. They take a piss out of you quite often, as and they say you must be lucky. No, I wasn't lucky. I made a good move to hire Ross McElroy, who hired Ray and the team. Those are good decisions. They keep paying off. Good decisions lead to good things in life. That's just the law of life. We've got a good team. Now we're getting better funded. They can turn this discovery hole into a deposit, but they need money. So these guys, Bruce and them, investors want to back people. You know, why same as like why do people back certain football players like in the past Beckham or etc. Because they've done it before. Track record matters. Like you and I've talked about it. How in the flying hell can people give money over and over to groups who never find shite? They don't find anything.
Okay, but look, some of this. I want to stick with the money for a little bit longer. The money you raised at the end of last year, I guess you're going to point out and say, well, that's the money which has allowed us to make this discovery
Yeah.
along with the people, right? Okay, well, I hear you loud and clear. But likewise, you've raised a lot of money in the past, and where you haven't been as lucky, where you haven't made
No,
this discovery, right? So
absolutely.
exploration is exploration. It can give and it can take. I want to start trying to understand. Well, where do you go from here? Because, like I said, you've got to chase the. It's very fluid. You've described it's very, very fluid. You've got to work out where it's been deposited or where it's gone. How much more money do you think you throw at this thing? And is this the kind of the focus for you? Just chasing this high grade?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, exploration business is extremely risky, and it's even riskier in uranium. It's a very small group of people understand it, and even a small group of people know how to find something, let alone grow it. Thankfully, our team's done it twice before. So our next steps were before Christmas, trying to put in a couple more holes. It's been tough drilling up there in the winter. We've got an overburden to go through. Um, our goal is to trying to find out by Christmas which way is it going. So that's the next step. That's in our control. We're waiting for assays. We sent them out for the first hole. So by Christmas, we hope to have a couple more holes. Drilling goes well and have these assays. So the next step is to find out where it's going. And once you get an idea, then you can throw a bomb, as we say in American football, and make a hole and then grow it quicker. End of the day is to grow this damn thing into a big deposit, hopefully, right? And if we do that, I mean, you look at Fission Uranium recently hit 800 million in market cap. Arrows billions. So if you find something big, the market rewards you.
But I'm trying to work out what the. Sorry, this is a much broader conversation. With Fission, it's like 600 million today, right? What's the game plan here? I'm trying to work out because we've seen a lot of rollouts, right? We've seen Denison kind of, get access to enough capital to go and buy up a bunch of stuff. UEC doing the same thing. We've seen Encore rolling up a few assets. I mean, what's the end game here? Because not everyone can become a Fission where it's whatever it's 600-800 million depending on the time of the month. Your game plan is obviously drive the value of this thing, build up the size of this thing, and then what?
Well, it depends what the situation is. People always ask you that, and that's if you can tell me what the price of uranium is, and you can tell me what this is, I'll give you an answer. What we do is right now, the only thing in my head for the next 12 months is understand the deposit, keep drilling it, grow it, and I hope uranium prices wake up. If you remember last year, what caused it all was a super bull market overall, and general funds poured money into SPUT, the physical. And Peter Grosskopf was brilliant, bought uranium. He sucked up all that loose soft on the spot market. Prices rose, stocks, like we went from 10 cents to 30 on nothing. We had not changed the face of the company. It was the value of, hey, uranium, we need energy. And if anything, when I come over to see you guys in London, nobody understands the value more. People in Germany are using coal plants, using coal to heat up their homes after telling the world, we don't need uranium. We don't need oil. We don't need any of that shit. We know. And I mean, it was a joke. I remember our favorite guy to pound on, Trump, stood in front of Germany and said, hey, you're making a mistake trusting Russia. And you should see the looks on the Germans going, what a effing moron. They actually could hear them saying it. He was right. You must have your own supply. So I believe we need nuclear power. And I believe Fission 3.0 has got something to grow into deposit and one to be part of that answer. The other nice thing about Fission 3.0, the deposit, we've talked about how wide, with pretty good numbers, high counts per second. What I haven't talked about is it's on land. And that means you can work 11 months a year. Secondly, it's only 200 meters down. This is a very unique gift given to us. It's shallow, on land, it's got high counts per second, and it's wide. So it's
just we're clear in case someone thinks, well, where else would it be? You're talking about because it's a basin. Some of these other assets are under lakes. Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And this, you know what? People overreact to lakes. They don't understand it. Cigar Lake, MacArthur River, Key Lake. There's a little word in there called lake, because most of Saskatchewan, believe it or not, is full of lakes. When you fly over a chopper, you rarely see land. You'll see damps, swamps. There's just a lot of water up there. Now, to me, you can overcome all that. But the key is, for us, we're lucky. We're still shallow, on land, high counts per second, and wide. That's the kind of stuff that that's the kind of start you want to give.
Keeps the cost down. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you just raised this money. Sorry. You've just announced the revised placement number. So will you be upping that? When do you get the money? No. Okay, that's it.
Okay. I think December 22nd is the closing.
Okay.
There's a phone call around that day. They ask a bunch of questions. Our technical people answer. That's how bought deals are done. Their committee, a bought deal is significant because the brokerage firm is committing their own money to saying, if our clients bail, don't worry, we'll cover you. So it's not like a brokered private placement where they take it and they go fishing. Have we got enough money? Oh, we don't. Okay, we'll only do so much. They're doing a bought deal, meaning they're so convinced that there's demand for it when they announce it. They go, we're going to put our own money on the line.
Yeah. Okay. And is the intention to kind of like smash through this? I'm starting to talk like Are you going to be smashing through this money and then looking to raise very quickly, or are you going to be sort of guardians of your capital depending on the market?
Our goal is follow the geology. I trust my team. The other day Ray said, I think we need to do this, and I said, Ray, absolutely. We need a sonic drill, which increased the cost by 20. But we'll get through the overburn. I said, there we go. To me, this money is for the technical team to have a bit of freedom to be creative, right? Try some things. I mean, people forget there would be no Aero, no NextGen, no fission uranium, nothing. ISO, forget about it. If some guys don't say, why don't we fly an airplane with basically a flying scintillometer, and guess what? That maybe that'll work. And guess what? We found boulders. So you've got to. People don't see that geologists and geoscientists are artists. They really are, because they're locked in a little room. They're trying to figure out, and you have to give these people a little room to try some different things. And I believe now with 15 million we can.
Okay, right. So I'll finish off because this is kind of it's kind of like a conversation that says, look, we've got some stuff. We're about to go off and do something exciting. So I wanted to chat to you and talk about how you're going to go about doing it. So let me finish with one question about how you're going to go about doing it. I know you're going to give the money to the technical team, but what precisely are they going to do in terms of tracking this fluid and trying to work out where it's gone? What's the money going on, and how quickly do you burn through it?
First hole we did, the follow-up hole, which hit, was up dip, right? going north. Then now we're going to go down south. We go up dip, down dip, and then we'll pick some sides. Christmas comes, we have to shut it down, give people a chance for break. Right now they're working, 24 hours. Then come first week of January, they're back out there. So that's the nice thing about being on land. See, if you're on lakes, you can't. To wait till February, you have to build the ice up so that a rig can be on the lake. You have to flood it like an ice rink in Canada. You got a nice thick base. Put a rig on it. We don't have to do that. We're on land. So our goal between now and Christmas is a couple of holes, down dip, up dip, on the sides hopefully. We're still working that through and get our assays. Gives us an idea. Go for Christmas. Otherwise, we have to name the deposit the Grinch. So I'm not going to make people do that. Give them time to go home, see their families. Then they come back, and then they get back to work.
Okay. Well, thanks for checking in. We will be keeping tabs on this one and see, what the team's able to deliver. Appreciate your time today, Dev. Do stay in touch.
Yeah, I said, like with this deal and Strathmore, we've talked about what investors don't focus on is management, and how much money they put into deals. That should be the biggest signal for investors. Am I betting with the team or are we separate? We always say management is aligned with investors. And because of that, we're motivated. And that's what leads to great discoveries. People are motivated.